With an almost completely unexplored backstory, Thanos is an entirely different character from his original comic design. For the most part, we only understand him in context of the superheroes we watch. The Avengers and heroes on Earth are not aware of our villain's presence until it is too late, though Thanos' actions affect them in every imaginable way, past, present, and future. In the inverse, the heroes with ties to galactic stories, basically the Guardians of the Galaxy, know full well the dangers the Titan imposes, along with the full power of the Infinity Stones. What complicates matters is the idea that Thanos is the protagonist of the new Infinity War movies. Fans and critics alike have shown how the narrative arc centralizes around him. This leads to the question, what do we need to know about Thanos, and why is he cast in this light? The answers lie within depths of comic book history and the original history behind the character. The year is 1973. Cosmic energy was abuzz, and nearly every writer in comic book history wanted to explore the idea of galactic enemies. The truth is, Jack Kirby brought this excitement to the readers, and his run with DC on interstellar storylines were widely influential. Jim Starlin actually based his design of Thanos off Darkseid, a Kirby creation. Thanos is from Saturn's moon Titan in the comics. In the film, Titan is its own planet, hence the Mad Titan coinage. Titans are descendants of Eternals, a genetic offshoot of humans crafted by Celestials. Yep, those Celestials, like Ego, Peter Quill's father from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Starlin based Thanos' personality off his fascination with nihilism. Starlin wanted a character fascinated with loss of life and the empty promises of nihilism. Mix that with the cosmic trends of the day, and you get Thanos, pursuer of all things devoid of meaning. The character and his background were actually reworked by Kirby when he rejoined Marvel. Kirby was fascinated with the concept, and the legendary writer enjoyed the premise of the character, but he wanted to bolster up his backstory. This led him to write a more concentrated theme surrounding the Titan's roots, and he even made him more powerful. Kirby's run with Thanos is where most of today's canon actually comes from, and is the one who tied him to the godlike eternal characters. The whole connection to gods and titans helps explain Thanos' unique strength. In fact, Thanos is powerful regardless of his connection with the Infinity Stones. Thanos originally takes on the Avengers without the Infinity Gauntlet or the Stones. It is only after he becomes obsessed with the character Death that he becomes determined to wipe out half of existence. That's right, the biggest villain in Marvel's history did all this over a crush he had on a girl. The girl just happens to be the Grim Reaper, sort of. That's all the comic book history, and the backstory helps fans understand the cinematic version better. However, the MCU Thanos has his own backstory and motivation that diverge from the comic book version. Maybe that's a good thing. We think the box office proves that, but we never want to toss out the old Thanos either. After all, we do love a cute romance story where the guy meets girl, girl doesn't fall for guy, so guy decides to destroy half of all living things. Ah, you have to love the classics. Anyways, the movie builds on the obsession with eliminating half of the galaxy's population. However, the reasoning is entirely different. The narrative is backed with more emotional support, and by the end of Infinity War, fans were left with a nearly complete idea of his backstory. Thanos is a native to Titan, but he was not the ruler. He was merely one of many citizens. A food shortage and the lack of resources threatens the survival of his species. So, Thanos proposes a simple solution. Well, simple in his mind. Fearing the extinction of his entire planet, Thanos argues that randomly eliminating half the planet's population without bias would solve the issue. The rulers of Titan declare that he has gone mad. Yep, another allusion to the Mad Titan title, and they refuse to follow the plan. A rejected Thanos watches as his planet suffers more and more, only to end up wiped out. Hence his never-ending crusade to eliminate half the population of every planet he visits. Still, going from planet to planet is laborious. This is why Thanos often recruits people to do the dirty work for him, thus the creation of the sons and daughters of Thanos. So, when Thanos discovers the truth of the Infinity Stones, he goes on a quest to collect them. To bring that down to earth, Thanos was tired of pulling all-nighters looking through academic journals, so he just went straight to Wikipedia for the answers. It's a classic case of laziness. Obviously, because mysterious space stones seem to be the best way to commit galactic genocide. All joking aside, the Infinity Stones offer a key emotional truth for our character. We see the Infinity Stones the way Thanos sees them in the latest Avengers movie. They are no longer singular weapons capable of dangerous outcomes. Instead, the mystic gems offer a chance for Thanos to realize his dream. Maslow would be proud. Thanos just wants to reach self-actualization. He is making his dreams a reality. That being said, he seems to take the longest journey to get there, ever. Part of what makes Thanos unique as a villain is the fact he never does this alone. Till the very end, Thanos relies on his minions to get the stones and make this a reality. The puzzling part is how often this fails. You'd think after multiple failed attempts to get the stones, he wouldn't trust anyone but himself. The end credit scene of Age of Ultron features Thanos saying, "Fine, I'll do it myself." The moment is big-time hype, but some people missed the substance. Thanos does not want to be alone in this mission. He doesn't want half the population to no longer exist. He also wants the surviving half to believe in his motives. This is why he recruits survivors onto his team. It's a reassurance. Loki ruling Earth in the Mad Titan's mind gives them a chance for order under their old beliefs. He wants Loki to guide them to a better future. In Ronan the Accuser, Thanos sees a frustrated, angst-ridden version of himself. He wants to guide Ronan into realizing his own power to deliver upon Thanos' messaging. However, Ronan ends up going to the extreme. It's a failure in more than just acquiring the Infinity Stone. Thanos knows he can enforce his will to acquire them. He is seeking allies. The last time he attempted to pull this message off alone, it didn't get done. He wants insurance in case he is not able to fulfill his dream. He needs a successor. This idea can be seen even more in his success over the course of Infinity War. Thanos destroys every race he comes across holding a stone. His methods are forceful and always end up creating enemies. Though he is more successful in acquiring the powers, he creates even more direct vendettas. Thanos saw what wiping out the planets one by one did, and he is attempting to avoid that same result. When those new methods of giving villains the tools to conquer fails, he resorts back to his old way of doing things. The success comes with alienation. He makes an enemy in Thor, Iron Man, and Star-Lord, and he wipes out all the Asgardians and the residents of Nowhere. It's a costly expedition that he is forced to undertake when the other schemes fail. Remember, the inspiration behind all of this is avoiding the same fate as his race. Thanos wants everyone to see the truth he sees. He is the savior and is seeking followers, not enemies. Though the inspiration is misguided, his goals are clear. Thanos is clearly the main protagonist of Infinity War because the whole film works on explaining this to the audience. Not to mention, the resolution sees the completion of his goals. He is the one called to action, and his choices are the ones directly moving the plot forward. Everything is on his time and motivation. Speaking of motivation, the idea that Thanos wants a successor and someone to believe in his message comes off the most clearly through his relationship with Gamora. He sees her as his daughter. She is next in line to replace him. Gamora thinks he is incapable of love, but the truth is, Thanos is yearning for it. He desires for his ideas to be accepted. The only child of Thanos to come close to emotionally accepting his motivation is Gamora. That is why she is his favorite. Originally, she believed in everything Thanos did and appreciated him for it. She did not act out of fear and resentment initially, at least as far as we can tell. Every other child acted out of loyalty and a deep-seated desire not to end up like the other half of their home planet. Gamora is not like this. She trains as a killer under Thanos and serves him as if he is truly her father. It is not till later that this all changes. He also seeks an acceptance for his mission from the people who survive. However, by the end, he rests knowing his Herculean task may never be fully appreciated. Which brings us to one final wrinkle. He may have gotten what he wanted. At least you'd believe that if you subscribe to Thanos Did Nothing Wrong on Reddit. Subscribers to the community accept Thanos and his ideal. Internet users around the globe participated in their own version of the snap to balance out their subreddit. The lengths his fans will go to show their appreciation is unheralded. Many are wondering if the same support would have come if they stuck with the comic book storyline. The morality of his actions may be gray for some fans, but others only see this as dark. The weight of his decision affects everyone who watched Infinity War. That kind of movement is unheard of in box office cinema. Thanos is a character like no other. His journey and the character arc he goes through left some viewers actually on his side. That almost never happens with the villain of a film. So, is Thanos right? The truth is, it's difficult to say. We are eagerly awaiting the next present-day Marvel film to see Earth after the Snappening. Thanos is going to face the consequences of his decision. He created his reality. Now it is time to see what goals are left for the Mad Titan. Will he defend his dream from the remaining Avengers? Is he actually going to be eliminated? Can anyone defeat him? What does he do now that he has lost the one child he truly loved? Fans are excited to see what a fulfilled Thanos looks like. It's possible he is just as empty as before. The only way to know is to tune in to the next Avengers film. Till then, keep up with all the latest theories and character studies right here at Behind the Screen. Subscribe to stay in the loop. All you have to do is snap the link below to be automatically subscribed.